This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome to the Elevate Construction Podcast. This is Reno, the producer. The next 9 podcasts were episodes recorded in 2017 after implementing Lean on a project. You will hear the voices of Jake Smalley and Jason Schroeder as they reflect on the successes and failures of their experiment. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. This is Jake, and who are you?
I'm Jake.
Oh, you're Jason. All right. Okay. Just keep going. That's fine. All right. So I'm Jason, actually, and we're here with Jake. Anyway, so this is the introduction to a little podcast series that we're going to do for lessons learned from the project that we're currently on. And so a little bit background about me. I'm a superintendent, and I'm super good looking. Jake, anything you want to say about you?
I have a nice beard.
Yeah.
And it's red.
Okay. You're a superintendent too?
Yeah.
That's important.
But I have a beard.
Okay. That's fine. So we are finishing up a project that's $100 million, $85 million in direct construction costs. But we had a good time about it, and we're going to do a little lessons learned. So why would we do that? Why would we record something that if it was sent to me, I'd probably be annoyed and I'd be like, what are these guys doing? Well, here's the reason. Because when we started, we had the PSPP effort that we drew upon and a whole bunch of projects down here in the Southwest area where we were able to steal ideas, tour the job, take the things that they learned and implement it down here where we are. What we want to do is just record a couple of things and try and pass that along and just keep the circle going, because we have this wonderful horizontal organization where we learn from each other, love each other, help each other. So that's why we're trying to do this. We're going to talk just really quickly in this little segment on where we learned or where we started, the path that we're on, and just go from there. Then we'll start into the podcast series. So Jake and I actually worked for a different company before this, but we were on the same job. And it was the same kind of a job as you'd find in most parts of the industry. It was messy. It was not organized. It had its safety issues. The whole nine. Morale was down. The porta potties looked like crap. The whole nine. I mean, you agree, Jake?
Yeah, there's many complaints, and I think this is where Jason's going with this is we both were pretty troubled, and it was bothering us to see that the guys weren't being taken care of, and it's interesting to see not everyone is like this, but a lot of these guys show up to work and they don't treat it like they would their house. A lot of people do, though. They take really good care of stuff, but overall it really beats down to morale, and it ruins it for everybody.
We saw this, and I remember talking to Jake, and I went home that night and I was trying to see, well, what could we do? Could we switch to half-size porta potties? Could we have a guard? Could we have some kind of punitive measure to make sure that the porta potties were taken better care of and to keep things clean? And I was just going in a real negative direction. And Jake and I, halfway through our last job, were introduced to a book called 2 Second Lean by Paul Akers. And I'm pretty sure that everybody's, been exposed to that book. Great book. But it hit us that, hey, why don't we try and win everybody over?
Just a quick plug: if you don't have that book and would like one, Jason will send you one for an additional fee. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, well, it's actually free on the website, so you can download it anytime. But I read that book twice, and it gave us the idea, why don't we win people over? So we came in the next Monday morning on fire and said, all right, everybody, and there were 300 people there at the peak at that meeting, and we said, let's make a deal. We're going to build inside bathrooms, have somebody clean them every day. We're going to have extra toilet paper, everything you need. We're going to have a nice lunch area, so on and so forth. We had this list of things that we were going to go do literally to win them over and make a deal. And then we stopped the meeting and said, all right, this is what we want. We want you to no graffiti. No, we don't want any graffiti on the bathrooms or anywhere. We want the site clean. We want you to wear your safety glasses and do the right thing. We want your things safe. And we basically went through this deal that we were going to make, and we said, all right, whoever has beef with this, raise your hand. And nobody raised their hand. And literally there was this magical transformation on the project. We built the bathrooms, the lunchroom, we had the extra supplies, everything was going top notch, and it opened our eyes up to the fact that you can actually make a difference if you just lean in and what Jake says all the time is take care of the guys. That's his thing, and that's what he means. And it was transformative. Go ahead.
So, and just to touch on it, we kind of went crazy. And when I say crazy, we went and shot videos and took pictures of us changing toilet paper, changing paper towels. Every stall had a sign with Jason, like in a smiley face. And it sounds kind of goofy, guys, but everyone bought in, and it was all about training the guys. And we just shoved it down everyone's throat and got everybody to buy in. And once everyone bought in, guys were making comments like, man, this proves that when you don't treat people like animals, they don't act like them. And we went as far as heck. We had the top 100 Chuck Norris jokes, and some people don't like. Some people don't like Chuck Norris jokes, but I'll tell you what, like, there was a lot of comments on that, like the sense of humor and proving that, you know, although we were in management, hey, we're just normal guys, just like everybody else. We want to make a difference and take care of people. So that was what our big goal was, but it worked out really well. And
one thing you said, Jake, is we shoved it down their throat. So that's one misconception of lean, in my opinion, at least from my experience, is that people think that groups of people will voluntarily adopt lean principles, and we've never found that to be the case. You have to force people for about a month or two, and then it's voluntary. Then the culture is inculcated and people start doing what's right.
Well, the light bulb comes on. Yeah. So you go in and you start sharing these crazy ideas that are totally foreign from anything that they've ever done. And you've got especially guys that have been in the industry for 30 or 40 years. You know, been here for 30 or 40 years. And, you know, we've got a guy on our project, one of the plumbers that is great at what he does, but he thought we were crazy. He looked at us so funny on some of the things that we presented in the meetings early on and that we had, and some of the ideas and the direction that we wanted to take the site. And everyone was just kind of up in arms, and especially this guy. He walks around now after it took him about 2 months to actually buy in, but now he's picking up trash. The things that we were bothered by that didn't bother him because they were the norm. Now he's bothered by them. It's almost like there's an episode on TV that I watch, and these two characters work in this office.
Mention it's The Office.
Okay, The Office. Sorry. Yeah. So I've addicted The Office. But anyway, so Jim and Dwight sit right across the desk from each other, and Jim starts training Dwight. Every time he makes this sound on his computer, he offers Dwight an Altoid. And it's pretty funny because pretty soon Jim makes the sound go on his computer, and Dwight holds out his hand for an Altoid, and Jim looks at him and says, "What do you want?" He says, "My mouth." His mouth was just tasted disgusting because he was totally trained. He just basically trained his brain into wanting. And that's almost like what we've accomplished out here in doing it. Although, like Jason said, you know, a lot of people say we shouldn't force it, but forcing is where we got the success. And staying, steadfast and holding to what we decided we were going to do from the start all the way to the end of the project is what made it super successful.
And one of my favorite Chuck Norris jokes on the wall is that Chuck Norris doesn't call the wrong number. You answered the wrong phone.
Yeah, that's right.
I absolutely love those jokes. So basically, once we made a deal, tried to win over the hearts and minds of the people out on site, we also implemented, which we'll talk about in a future podcast, but we implemented a zero tolerance policy. So basically, if you were to go to that job site before our little transformation or our basically our history here, you'd see dirty, bad porta potties, unorganization, unhappy people, same old, so we see all the time. When we implemented, tried to win the people over, basically made the deal and started a zero tolerance policy for safety, what you would find, and let me just drop back, I'd catch like 40 people a day. Hey, put your glasses on. Hey, this. Hey, we need to be planning here. Hey, you're not tied off properly. On and on and on.
Hey, you're wearing tennis shoes.
Hey, you're wearing tennis shoes. And then once we made the deal, which took care of most of the problem, and then started a zero tolerance policy for safety, in the next, I think it was 6 months, 20 people had to be sent home from our zero tolerance policy. So compare 20 people in 6 months versus 40 people a day. I mean, but the bottom line is that not only should people be treated right, and we should try and win them over and create this culture on site where the craft is respected, but also we need to realize that they can rise to the occasion. All of us can. The management, the craft workers who are so important in the field, the extended partners, everybody can raise their game. And like Patrick Lencioni says, 30% of people are going to get it. There's another 30% you can win over. And then there's the detractors. I'm not getting the numbers exactly right, but then there's the detractors that just absolutely have to have a zero tolerance policy with some things in order to raise the bar. And so after that, we had a happy workforce, clean bathrooms, organized site. We were able to start implementing morning huddles in parts of the last planner system, and people were safe. And that's really where we got started. And then there were just so many wonderful things like the PSPP effort. There was the culture that was already here, the horizontal organization. There were the lean efforts, which were by and large, light years ahead of the rest of the industry. And so that's kind of the background. And so at BSRL, this is only to try and get a little bit of validity, not to brag or anything. I'm just saying it really does work. On BSRL, the site is perfectly clean. We have a very good safety record. If you go out there, it's organized. People are happy. The bathrooms are clean. We have everything on the inside on wheels.
I just wanted to mention
Go ahead.
about the people being happy. There's a lot of people because there's a lot of big jobs going down here in Tucson, and as well as everywhere else, but down here, and there's a lot of people who will leave for a couple weeks to go work on another job, and they'll come back, and comments remain to us all the time like, hey, this project is above all the rest, and make comments like, and I've asked why, and they're like, we generally feel that you guys care and you guys listen to us. And we've done that. And a lot of these suggestions and these crazy ideas, now that we've gotten everyone bought in, have been from craft guys saying, hey, I need to talk to you for a second. This is my idea. You think we could work on that? And it's been from safety deals to barbecues to whatever we've done for the guys. It's really shined through. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
And the owner's super happy. I will say we were awarded another project, and we have a lot of little projects, SSG work that we've been getting lately, and it's just working out great. So the customer's super happy. Most of the craft are super happy, like I said, and the subcontractors, like I said, every now and then you have a detractor that no matter what you do, they're not going to be happy. So we understand that, but the project's just been a great success. So we have literally no turnover with the staff, happy people. We've met our scheduled deadlines at the end of the project. So as we're recording this, we're a week away, and we are not working crazy hours and stressed and have an imbalance, and it's not a crash landing. We're still steady, clean, safe, organized, good quality work, everything, heading right down to our substantial completion. And like I said, the craft people are happy, and we just have a safe, clean, organized, wonderful site, and the owner's super happy. So that's what we have. And it's because of all these ideas that we've stolen from other people. So again, we want to share. So as we proceed forward with the podcast series, I'll just go through a couple of the topics. The first one was going to be about is going to be about the art of attack. This is something that's actually pretty well researched that we've gone through, that talks about the benefits of violently taking advantage of opportunities and advancing any of our efforts, whether it be planning, schedule, any of our cultural practices on site. It's just a really neat outline that pulls from some of the lessons of history, especially from war examples. The other thing, the podcast number 2 will talk about incentive and survival, basically the efforts that we've had to win people over, but also raise the bar of survival, meaning that you have to meet these certain basic standards to work here. We'll talk about in podcast 3, setting up contracts, buying what you want to see on site. Podcast 4, winning over the workforce. Podcast 5, sustaining the culture. Number 6, cleanliness and organization. That's a real big one. Some people discount cleanliness and organization, but in that one, we're going to go through some of the benefits and why it really acts as a basis for everything else that we do. And then 7, 8, and 9, we're going to talk about some of what we consider the 3 big key indicators for a project, which are balance and stability, foresight and planning, and then clarity and alignment. Clarity is a big one. especially for project managers and superintendents. And then podcast 10, team building. And we're going to go through a number of really neat things in the team building portion of it that I think everyone's going to enjoy. So this is our introduction. Basically, we just want to provide some information as lessons learned from the project, and we hope you enjoy it. Anything else you want to say, Jake?
No, that's it. Just thanks for listening, and it should be a good series of podcasts.
All right. Love you guys. Out.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.